Honourable Peter Dunn.
Mr Speaker, that was an amazing speech, and I want to acknowledge, as I'm sure everyone in the House would, the bravery and the courage of the member who's just spoken, because we know the ordeal that she and others around her have gone through in recent days, and that cry from the heart for understanding, for some space, and I guess just a recognition of the huge stress that not only the member but the people of Canterbury are under is, I think, one of the most powerful contributions I've been privileged to hear in this House in a very long time. So I acknowledge the member for that. I congratulate her and assure her that every single member of this chamber will be behind her, her family and the people of Canterbury in this ordeal. I wanted to take my time this afternoon, sir, to talk about some of the tax measures that are being put in place in the wake of the earthquake in Christchurch, because as the member simply alluded to, it may be difficult at this time, but the threads of life do have to be picked up. And one of the immediate concerns people will have will be all of those day-to-day things, like their tax bills, like their working for families tax credits, whether they will be paid as usual, because they may well be part of the more substantial income coming into the house in these trying times. And I want to assure Cantabrians that all payments that they are expecting from Inland Revenue, such as their working for families tax credits, will be made as usual. We have, as I said in the House yesterday, established a special Inland Revenue disaster response line. The number again is 0800 473 566. That's for individuals and businesses to make contact with Inland Revenue if they think they face difficulties that require attention. Now, I know that in the vast scheme of things, sorting out tax matters is not going to be a huge priority for Canterbury people and businesses at this stage. It's perfectly understandable. There are far more pressing things for them to get on with worrying about. But what we are saying from Inland Revenue's perspective is that we will be prepared to work alongside individuals and businesses in this very stressful time to make sure that they are not doubly disadvantaged by some of these systemic interventions. We will be providing full information to people on the remission of late payment and late filing penalties and interest payments that they have coming due. We're also working on a number of technical tax issues that arise from property that's been damaged or destroyed and the tax consequences that inevitably arise from any associated insurance claims. And Mr Speaker, it's been gratifying to know that many people have contributed to the relief funds that have been established, and I'm pleased to announce this afternoon that cash donations made by individuals of more than $5 towards earthquake relief will be eligible for tax credits, and they will be tax deductible if they are made by companies. Mr Speaker, I simply say to people in Christchurch that they should not be concerned about these matters at the moment. They have more pressing things on their mind. But from a tax point of view, we are prepared to work alongside them both to make sure they get the entitlements that they are due in a timely way and that the adverse impacts are minimised upon them at this particular time. Mr Speaker, I don't want to say too much more about the Christchurch situation because I think really in the wake of the member who preceded me's comments, any comments from me about that would be superfluous. She did it so much more powerfully. But I simply want to talk about one other issue in the time that remains to me, and that's the question of child support. And last week I released a discussion document supporting children about changes to our child support law. And it's worth putting on record that we have 140,000 families in New Zealand who are affected by the child support system, some 210,000 children. And while in an ideal world those arrangements would be made voluntarily between parents at the time of relationship breakups, the reality is in a number of cases that doesn't happen. And sadly, what was designed to be a backstop solution has become the default. And I think we need to change that and make a number of other changes too that recognise the reality of circumstances today and that ensure that the focus that everyone proclaims but sadly often ignore in the emotion of the circumstance about the welfare of the children is given preeminence. Mr Speaker, I invite people who want to make a submission to go online, if I can just give the website address, to www.supportingchildren.ird.gov.tnz and make their comments accordingly.
Honourable Shane Jones.